Hey guys, so for this week we're going to do a super quick video glossing over the lives of the 12 apostles. There's a lot of information to know about them. They're all 12 men with individual lives and they all did great things, so I don't really know that I can do it all in 8 minutes, but that's all I have time for. So here we go. Alright, first I need to say that if you guys have not done the Flipgrid or turned in your homework from the past few weeks, please do that as soon as possible so I can record your guys' attendance so that Mrs. Miri has that. Alright, first we have Peter. You guys know Peter. He was also called Simon. He was a fisherman. Jesus called him and said, "Simon, come with me and I will make you a fisher of men." And that he did. So he is probably the oldest apostle, and he was the only one that was married at the time. But his wife died like shortly after he started following Jesus. So Peter had a brother named Andrew. Andrew was actually the one that told Peter about Jesus and led Peter to Jesus. Andrew, I of course didn't meet Andrew. Just gonna throw that out there. But Andrew seemed like an apostle that I would have been good friends with. He was really, really passionate and like not like a loud person, but like a fiery person. He had like this enthusiasm, and whenever he loved something, he wanted to bring the people in his life that he loved to this other thing so they could also love it and they could also experience that joy. That's kind of what he did with Jesus. He fell in love with Jesus and he believed his teachings wholeheartedly, so he took his older brother, whom he loved and respected very, very much, and brought him to Jesus and was like, "Here, this is the person that I adore, and he is an amazing human being, and he's the Son of God, so maybe we should follow him." So we have Peter, Andrew, then there were James and John. They were brothers. They were really fiery men, and they traveled a long ways to tell people about the gospel. They sound pretty awesome. Honestly, I just want to spend a day with the disciples, which we're going to get back to. But anywho, so then we have Philip. Philip was really, really quiet, and there's not much that we know about him. We do know that he traveled and told people about the gospel, but he also preached about the Old Testament because he was a scholar and he was really, really smart, and he had read the Bible the Old Testament many, many times, and he knew the stories, and he wanted people to know that Jesus was the actual Son of God that had been foretold, that it had been predicted that he would come. So after that we have Bartholomew. Bartholomew originally wasn't a big fan of Jesus. He didn't believe that Jesus was actually the Son of God. And it took some convincing to get Bartholomew to come around, but once he did, Bartholomew was Jesus' strongest advocate, and he was always out there telling people about Jesus and telling people that Jesus loved them. Even if they had never met Jesus in person, Bartholomew wanted people to know that Jesus had met them. Super cool. I love Bartholomew. Matthew wrote one of the Gospels, wrote one of the stories about Jesus, like the whole story from start to finish. Originally, he was a tax collector. Tax collectors in Israel were not liked at all. They were known for taking extra money from the people of Israel to pay the Romans and to make themselves rich. So Matthew originally was a pretty wealthy guy, and he left all of that behind to follow Jesus. Then there was Thomas. Thomas is sometimes called Doubting Thomas because he said that he would not believe it was Jesus unless he could put his fingers through the hand holes and feet holes and to put his hand in Jesus' side. Otherwise, he wouldn't believe him. And then after Jesus rose from the dead, Thomas was like, "No, I don't believe it, I don't believe it, I don't believe it." And then Jesus came and said, "Thomas, come, put your fingers in my hand holes, put your fingers in the nail holes in my feet, put your hand in my side, it's really me. I'm really here. I really was crucified and I really rose from the dead. And then Thomas like fell on his knees and cried, my Lord, my God. And he started crying. And, you know, as I would. Okay. There was another apostle named James. His mother was also named Mary and had been really close friends with Mary, the mother of Jesus. And when Jesus was crucified, both Marys went down with Mary Magdalene. Mary was a very, very common name in those days. Mary Magdalene, Mary the mother of James, and Mary the mother of Jesus, and a woman named Salome all went to the tomb Easter morning and saw that Jesus wasn't there. So James is sometimes referred to as James the Lesser, not because he was less in any way, but because he kind of chose to remain in the background and support the other apostles. And he was there like the guy in the background running errands and doing all the paperwork, and the really, really smart one. Without him, nothing would have gotten done. The next apostle on my list is Simon the Zealot. So a zealot is someone who is filled with zeal, who is very, very enthusiastic about their mission. Simon's mission was to tell every single person in this world that Jesus loved them. He was on fire. He probably was one of those people in his younger years who was very, very political. But he was called Simon the Zealot because he was on fire and he wanted to tell everyone about Jesus. There is a lot of legends, or I don't want to say legends, but there isn't really much we know about what ended up happening to Simon. Some people say that Simon went to Africa. Some people say that Simon went to England. He could have gone all over the place. He was on fire with his love for Jesus, and he wanted to tell everybody about it. So then we have Judas, the son of James. He was also called Jude, Thaddeus, and Lebbaeus. I don't know what it is with the apostles having many different names, but it is what it is. Anyway, Jude was a healer, and he had a gift for being able to lay his hands on people and heal them. And this gift was given to him by Jesus and by the Holy Spirit. So that is how that is how he preached the gospel, as he went around healing people in Jesus' name and telling them, if you want to be thankful for your life, you should worship Jesus. Then we have the more infamous Judas, the one who betrayed Jesus. He was the 12th apostle. Not much is known about Judas's early life. All the other apostles, it states in the Gospels, like how they were called to Jesus, like how did Jesus convince, or how did Jesus meet them, and how did Jesus tell them that they should follow him. Not so with Judas. Judas betrayed Jesus, and that might be the reason that we don't see much of Judas in the Gospels. It could have been, well, the other apostles wrote the Gospels, so it could have been that the apostles were really hurt about what Judas had done, and they decided to keep him out of the Gospel. But for whatever reason, we don't know much about how Judas came to join the apostles. We do know that Jesus loved him very much, even though Judas betrayed him, and even though beforehand Jesus knew that Judas was going to betray him, he still did not let that stand in the way of showing his love for Judas. So, 12 apostles, 11 of them went on to spend the rest of their lives preaching about Jesus and sharing the good news and healing the sick and giving money to the poor. And although Judas ended up betraying Jesus, Jesus never stopped loving Judas. And I honestly don't think that Judas ever stopped loving Jesus. I think that Judas got caught up in this life on earth and forgot that there is a life that we all need to work towards in heaven. So, your guys' assignment for this week is I would like you to pick an apostle, and you guys can go open the Bible and find something about this apostle, anything. Just write down one thing about this apostle. And I would like you to write down the thing that you learned about the apostle. And I would also like you to write down what you would want to talk about with this apostle. So my example would be St. John, because St. John is the apostle that I think St. John is the apostle that I would like to meet. And I would like to sit down and talk with him and ask him how to quietly love Jesus. I don't know if that really makes sense, but I want to ask John how I can show Jesus' love in my everyday life. That's what I want to talk about to John about. So, that's your guys' assignment for this week. Which apostle did you choose? What can you tell me about this apostle? And what would you tell this apostle if you could talk to this apostle? Or what would you ask this apostle? So, that is all. I don't know yet what I'm going to do for next week. You guys can scribble a suggestion on your homework if you would like to when you turn it in. Maybe we'll do a Zoom call and talk. Or maybe we'll do another flip grid. I know a couple of people really like the flip grids. So I think I said it at the beginning of this video, but if I didn't, make sure you guys get your homework turned in so that I can count you guys as attending so you don't get in trouble. I miss you guys very much. I'm really sad that we can't get together, but it is what it is. We're going to have to make the best of our situation. So go out there and read the gospel and learn about these men, and then follow in their footsteps and share the good news to literally everybody you meet. Tell them about what you do with your life and tell them about why you do it, who you do it for. That answer, of course, is Jesus. So know that I love you guys very, very much, and I am praying for you every day, and I hope that school and living with your families is going very, very well for you guys. Make sure you get outside and roll in the grass and play a little bit, because the sun is shining and spring is here and it's beautiful. So coronavirus can't keep spring away. Woohoo! Love you guys very, very much. I will see you guys next week. Bye.